Hey everyone, Sean here, and today in this video I am very much happy to see the recent news once again relating to Genshin Impact on this episode of the Hawke Talks. I just wanted to express my opinion about it while we talk about the highlights of the stream that we recently saw for 2.7, revealing what's going to be coming up for 2.7. So, of course, first off, we are getting the new Hydro Bow user, Yellen, or Yellen, something like that. I forget the pronunciation, so forgive me. But let's just go with Yellen. So Yellen is going to be, she could either be a main DPS material or type of unit, or sub DPS, since she kind of acts like Xiao, or excuse me, she acts like Xingqiu, and basically can offer damage whether she's on field or off the field. Sends her ult or burst, kind of does the same thing as Xingqiu with the rain swords, but kind of different, but pretty much the same thing, but in a different package. Now, obviously, there's some like different effects maybe in between, but overall they kind of function similarly with each other, except that Yellen is probably more suitable for main DPS, while Xingqiu is more mainly for Hydro support, since he offers damage reduction, a little bit of recovery, a little bit of healing, so on and so forth, unlike Yellen. So Yellen kind of does have her own little unique quirks, especially with her skill. She can like turn invisible, run really fast, and pass with the enemy and tie them with her line or whatever, and offer Hydro damage that way once the skill is over and the enemies explode. She can also gain what's called, I think, a breakthrough stance or a breakthrough effect, where once her skill or something else occurs, once that effect kicks in, her charge shot from her bow is significantly shorter the next time you do that. So it's kind of like Kujosara in that sense, especially once you get certain constellations for Kujosara, where if you hit them with the elemental skill, you can also have the charged bow shot be that, so that electro mine or whatever that she does, and that can also do the same thing as her elemental skill. So kind of like working like that. So it's a bit of a hybrid between Sara and Xingqiu in that sense. So Yellen is pretty cool, most importantly to me. So I'm going to try to pull for her, and we'll see if temptation kicks in, and maybe I'll burn the top opponents for Yellen or not at the time. We'll see about that. But hopefully I get her. I am on the 50-50 pity, so since I got Ayato right after Diluc in that same 10 poll, which was really crazy, so I'm back to soft pity. And so Yellen is going to be 50-50 for this time around. Not guaranteed, but we'll see if I get lucky or not in this event or version. But Yellen overall looks really cool. I do like her her attack animations, especially in normal. I like her elemental skill, and of course her elemental burst is pretty cool as well. She's going to be another Hydro DPS unit. I will build her to be a Hydro DPS unit, not so much a sub DPS unit. So I will like to, because I like to see her her normal attacks more often than not, or whatever. So Yellen I'll try to make her main DPS, and we'll see how that works out. Also, I mean, I don't have too many other bows that offer support. They're all given to like my other support units right now. So Diona and a couple of the units are kind of hogging that right now. So that's actually like putting me into that position of, or giving me the excuse of making Yellen a main DPS unit for this case. Unless I get some new bows or whatever along the way somehow, then okay. But other than that, Yellen is probably going to be main DPS for me anyway. But obviously you can build her for sub DPS as well. Kind of like what you could do with Yaimiko in that sense. She can either be one as well. But anyway, yeah, Yellen looks really cool. I like her the way she attacks. Not only that, but the way she looks. I like the jacket cape thing. I'm always a sucker for that. It's like, especially with the fur coat thing, draped over her shoulders. I kind of started really liking the aesthetic from like One Piece and stuff like that, with the admirals and the pirate captains. With the jacket cape, really cool look for characters, and I'm always a sucker for that. And so with that alone, I like Yellen from there. And I like the voice as well. I think it's Aya Endo this time around for Yellen anyway in this case. So, but anyway, point being, I think she looks cool, and I'll try to roll for her or pull for her, and hopefully I get her, and maybe I'll burn the top up bonus for her, either her or for hopefully Kazuha, but we'll see in a possible rerun in the future. We'll have to see about that. So Yellen is coming. Thankfully. Now let's also remember though that her banner is going to be tied with Xiao's banner in a double banner event. So we have a new character coming, and we have a rerun character coming as well in that same time window. So Xiao and Yellen are going to be, I believe, sharing the same 4-star characters, which I kind of forget who was in there, but at this point, I don't really care about the 4-star characters. I really want just the 5-star characters from this point, because I have most of them, or pretty much like kind of need, or don't really need most of them anyway, because I already have most of them anyway. So it pretty much leads me to only target the 5-star, of course. So that's like my main goal, and if I do get those 4-star characters, that's fine. It's more constellations and or Stardust or whatever for me. So I guess it's helpful either way. But so Xiao is coming back, not so much Kazuha, unfortunately, but I guess it makes sense from a story standpoint. So Xiao is going to be that character for the rerun. I believe Xiao had a rerun at some point though, unlike some other characters, including Kazuha. I think he's had one more rerun before this, but yeah, so it is Xiao indeed in this double banner event. Again, I'm going to be targeting Yellen, and hopefully I get her. Now we do have phase 2 in this version, which is phase 2's banner will offer Arataki Ito, which I did get him before. Not only that though, the 4-star character there, I do care in that case, and that's because Kuki Shinobu will be showing up there, rather than the just the other banners that I was hoping for. I was hoping to be able to pull Kuki Shinobu and Yellen in one go, in one banner. That would have been really convenient for me, but that's not the case here. Yes, that makes sense from a story standpoint, but inconvenient at the end of things. But it is what it is. So whatever gems I have at the time, I'll try to pull for Kuki Shinobu. I'll just be happy with C0, but the more I have her, of course, that'll be all the more helpful. And if I in case do get Arataki Ito, I think it'll just be funny. But hey, I do like Arataki Ito, so Ito will just only get stronger, so I guess it is a benefit for me anyway. But funny enough, the main goal for that banner is to get Kuki Shinobu. I'd rather get the 4-star character than the 5-star character, because I don't feel the need to get more constellations for Ito. That's just me anyway. I'm sure the whales would like to try to complete Arataki Ito. That's just what it is. But for me, my main goal is Shinobu. Shinobu looks really cool. I do like her in the looks department as well, with the mask and everything. She's the only character wearing a mask of sorts, like a face mask. Kind of sort of fitting with today's trend, with or at least with early 2020. So it's kind of fitting. But of course, ninjas have always worn masks of sorts, and especially if you've seen past ninja games and all that stuff, and then if you want to look into the recent ones, you can definitely see stuff in Ghost of Tsushima with Jin wearing that mask. It kind of reminds me of that too, at least in some way or form. And Ninja Gaiden, all that stuff. If you want to go there as well, Shinobu kind of tickles that fancy, the ninja mask and everything. looks really cool. I do like her function though, as an electro healer. So what I'm going to do is make her a dedicated healer and electro enabler, and not so much focus on her damage. I think she will do damage no matter what, because she is going to be based off of HP for the most part, and depending on where you're at with her constellations and or passive abilities, Elemental Mastery will play a part. But I feel like Elemental Mastery should be just from the substats. Don't try to dedicate a slot for any artifact main stats for Elemental Mastery. That's just my opinion anyway, but I feel like it'd be better to just have the substats taking care of that rather than the main stats from artifacts main stats. Again, that's just my opinion anyway. So I do have artifacts already all ready to go for both Kuki and Yellen, so in case I do get Yellen. If not, I can just pass that on to anyone else who needs those things in the future. I feel like I am more guaranteed to get Kuki, but we'll see about that. It was kind of hard for me to get Goro, so my luck with the 4-stars can be a little mixed at times, in its own way, and then 5-stars mixed in its own way. So just characters alone, it is pretty exciting. Of course, they always bring something a little new to the gameplay side of things for Genshin Impact. But when it comes to like the story events and mini events, that's a bit of a toss-up, personally. But before we get to that, of course, there are some new weapons. I do want to briefly cover. They have the aqua something. I forget the name for it. But I think it's simulacra or something like that. Simulacra. I'm sorry for butchering the name, but simulacra is I'm gonna go with for right now. That's the 5-star bow, and probably built for Yellen, but we'll see how the effects are. I have not been able to see what the sort of effects and main stats and stuff like that are. But anyway, that's the new 5-star bow. There is going to be there's a 4-star bow, and that's going to be tied in the event, so I'll try to get that definitely, just for myself, really. But yeah, now on to the side events and stuff like that. There is going to be a hangout quest for Shinobu, which I will try to do. And of course, there's the Yellen story quest, and then there's the Archon quest called Perilous Trail, and there is going to be the story event or whatever with Xiao. I think that's the one with Xiao, but either way, we're going to be dealing with Xiao and the Yakshas and all that stuff, and that's going to be pretty interesting, I guess, so from a story perspective of things. Pretty interesting cast this time around. I mean, it is going to be featuring Shinobu, of course, along with Ito, and Yellen, of course, and that also is going to be featuring Yang Fei. Remember her, the half Adeptus lawyer, you know. So I actually do have her, but I have not built her at all. So I mean, I really don't have a reason to, but she looks fun, so that's probably the only reason why I would build her in the first place. But right now, she's kind of just sitting there on the bench. So yeah, yeah. So so during the Perilous Trail, the 4-star bow is called Fading Twilight. So yeah, I don't know the effect on that one as well. Other than that, though, there's just going to be other mini events that involve with the where you challenge against enemies and you pick characters, and in the next round you can't pick those characters anymore, and then it has the buffs and everything, and that's where you can get to try out Yellen and also Shinobu relatively early on, so you get to actually try her out during 2.7 rather than 2.7 phase 2, interestingly enough. So I think that's pretty cool. You get to kind of get the feel of her early on. So that's pretty cool, in my opinion. But other than that, there is the rhythm game, which I don't know, man. There's something about those sort of mini games where they like the devs, I'm sure, work their butt off to like really work. They put like a ton of like changes that people liked when it comes to rhythm games, but it's just gonna be there for like a couple weeks and that's it, right? I mean, why go through all the trouble just to have it disappear after a couple weeks? That's just what it is with these gacha games. Although this one is like on the more grand scale. Like I've had mini games dealt with in my gacha RPG runs and stuff like that. Whenever I'm playing gacha RPGs, they do have these mini games, but they're like really basic. It doesn't take too much time on the dev side of things. It's like low effort, but it's something to do because you do get rewards for it. Now, when it comes to these mini games in Genshin Impact, there's work put into it. There's time put into it. They feel like kind of like mini games in a Mario Party sort of sense, I guess you can say. They kind of feel like they could be permanent DLCs for Genshin Impact, but they're not. They just disappear after some time. And of course, I'm referring to the drum rhythm game. I mean, it is pretty neat that you're able to like change around the lag timing and stuff like that. And of course, you can make your own rhythm game map. I forget what it's called, but you can like insert your own rhythm and stuff like that for each song. You kind of make your own like sort of map, I guess you can say, and pretty much like have that one shared with across with the world and stuff like that. And that's really cool and all, but again, it's just gonna disappear after a couple of weeks. So it's like, why go through all that stuff when it's not permanent? I would be fine if it's permanent. Like I don't have any problems with having rhythm games and stuff like that permanently in the game. I mean, that could mean I could just play around with it here and there, and that's it. I mean, at least they will give you rewards, but I just think that it's just weird to work on these like minigame events only for them to disappear. And people say, hey, so it's a mobile game at the end of the day, but these things, I mean, again, these things tend to be looking higher effort than the rest of the gacha RPGs that I've come across. But anyway, I don't want to go into that too much. I don't want to go into that rant too much. But there are going to be features in the system that are going to be permanent, which is fine on that part, which is some of the challenge features that you can see in the high-level domains. I forget exactly what they do, but I know for sure for when it comes to talents and artifacts, they actually are the game itself is going to tell you based off of how many players do this and that, through data and stuff like that, tell you what the best artifacts and stats and sort of level up talents to go for as a whole. So it told you to work on Ganyu's normal attack because of her charge shot will get better, and of course her burst, and then after that you can work on her skill because it's really not that important at the end of it. And so obviously it's pretty helpful there. And people say like, oh, it's gonna kill the content creators who actually make guide videos on those things. I think as long as you look around the right places for information, let's just say, I think those people are going to be fine. And as long as they are reasonable with that information, I think they'll be fine. But it is funny though that it is, in a sense, going to kill some of that need to look up stuff. But then again, people kind of want visual confirmation whether those stats are really good for those characters. So that's why they want like a video to show off like the numbers and everything. So I think at the end of it, it may kill off a little bit, but I think for the people who already have an audience following them that do these things, like watch artifact builds and weapon builds for each character, I think they're going to be fine because the way they talk about it, the way they distribute that information, I think people are like so used to that and really like it, and they have a reason to follow them. I think those people are going to be fine. But when it comes to newer people trying to get in on that sort of artifact build, weapon build, content creation game now, then okay, that could be a harder time, let's just say. Unless you bring some sort of entertainment value, then maybe that could help out. But yes, I can kind of see where people are coming from with that point. But that's pretty much there is to it when it comes to the important stuff. But other than that, there's some like collaborations and stuff like that. There's the Funko Pops for Genshin Impact, which I don't usually have, so I'm not too into that. But hey, for people who love Funko Pops and Genshin Impact, there you go. I do have one which is from Loot Crate, like way back when. It's like it's the Reaper Funko Pop from Overwatch. That came with the Loot Crate, so I was like, okay, cool. I mean, it's still sitting up there in the shelf somewhere, so it's there. I have one, but I'm not really into collecting them anyway. I know who does, but he does not get into Genshin Impact. But anyway, that is pretty much all there is to it for all the major ones. And of course, don't forget to grab the codes for the Primo Gems, stuff like that, some free Primo Gems, and some other little trinkets of rewards, sprinkle of rewards and stuff like that. So overall, 2.7 is just another like update to me that I will give it a whirl. It's got new characters in there, new events, new story, new hangout event even. I think I'll definitely get into that one, the hangout event, because I do really like how Shinobu is looking, and got some cute little personality quirks, so I would like to get to know her more. She does have a pretty interesting backstory too, of how she joined the Arataki gang and why she's there, and she's like she studied abroad overseas, very multi-talented apparently. Like she has some sort of beef, I guess, with the Narukami Shrine because her family was there, but why? I like to know all those things, hopefully from that hangout event with Shinobu. So pretty interesting backstory for that sort of character. So probably one of the only exciting hangout events I look forward to, at least in a long time anyway. But anyway, that's all I got pretty much for 2.7, my thoughts about it and all that fun stuff in between. What do you guys think about 2.7 for Genshin Impact? Are you guys excited? I'm excited in the sense that, hey, we're finally getting something different after the delay, and yeah, so it's great to see the new characters and some of the new stuff making it in there. I think it's pretty awesome. So anyway, that's all I got. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like these. Really appreciate it, guys. It's really helpful for this YouTube channel. And of course, comment on whether you're excited for 2.7 and all that fun stuff. And yeah, so this has been the Hawke Talks episode of Genshin Impact 2.7 that's coming up, in my opinion on it overall. And yeah, so thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys in the next video. Sean out.